No one in the Galactic Council noticed when humanity stopped sending ships. At first, it seemed like a small delay, a pause in communication, nothing to worry about. But weeks turned into months, and soon, the humans who once filled the council chambers with their strange energy and unpredictable ideas were simply gone. For centuries, humanity had been the wild card of the galaxy. They were strange creatures, emotional, creative, sometimes reckless, yet they were the ones who turned impossible wars into peace and built alliances no one else dared to dream of. Now, their empty seats in the Great Hall of Concord glowed faintly under the council lights, like silent ghosts watching from the shadows. Ambassador Zorthal of the Threxian Empire was the first to speak about it. "Has anyone received a transmission from Earth?" he asked in his deep, vibrating tone. The question hung heavy in the air. No one answered because no one had. The Council's central AI, known as the Archivist, searched through millions of data nodes. "All known human colonies report silence," it said in its emotionless voice. "No signals, no trade convoys, no diplomatic movements." A cold silence spread across the chamber. Something was wrong. The Vexari Chancellor, a long-bodied creature with 6 glowing eyes, leaned forward. "Humans do not vanish quietly," she hissed. "They argue, they shout, they fight, but they do not disappear." Her words made many of the council members shift uncomfortably. Some believed the humans had turned inward, tired of galactic politics. Others whispered of something darker, that humanity had finally found something that scared even them. But no proof came, just silence. Weeks later, trade routes that once depended on human technology began to fail. Ships that used their advanced jump drives malfunctioned. Medical stations lost access to human-designed nanotech. Even the Council's main defense network began to glitch, piece by piece. The galaxy started to feel the absence of humanity's touch. Then came the first warning. A border colony near the Perseus Rift reported a strange phenomenon. A dark cloud spreading across space, devouring signals, swallowing light. At first, no one connected it to humanity's disappearance, until they found something inside that cloud. A satellite. A human satellite marked with the symbol of EarthGov. It was broadcasting one repeating message over and over. A calm, human voice said, "Project Exodus completed. Humanity has withdrawn. The galaxy is now under observation." The message sent shockwaves through every council world. Under observation? By whom? By the humans who had left? Or by something else? Zorthal demanded answers. What does it mean, withdrawn? Have they declared isolation? But the Archivist could only repeat the data. Project Exodus was never registered in galactic records. Meaning the humans planned this long ago. Without telling anyone, panic started to grow. Worlds that once relied on human trade began hoarding resources. Rival species blamed each other. Old conflicts reignited. The unity that humanity had built started to crumble in the middle of the chaos. One small transmission was intercepted near the Sol system. It wasn't meant for the Council. It was a recording, an old human voice, tired, calm, and final. "To those who come after us," the voice said, "humanity has done what it must. We gave knowledge. We gave peace. We gave warnings. But the galaxy did not listen. Now, we step aside and watch what you do without us." The voice faded, replaced by silence. Some said it was a fake. Others said it was real, but those who truly knew humans, those who had fought beside them, felt the chill in their hearts. Because the voice carried something no machine could fake. Regret. As the weeks passed, more strange events followed. Artificial suns began to flicker. Mining stations that used human stabilizers collapsed. Entire planets lost their orbit control systems, and still the humans did not return. Then, one night across every communication channel, a faint pulse was heard. A rhythmic beat repeating every few seconds. The Council thought it was interference until someone decoded it. It was a heartbeat. Humanity's final message was not words, but a sound, steady, strong, alive. And those who listened felt it deep inside their minds, as if the humans were still there, watching, waiting, deciding. In the silence that followed, the galaxy realized something terrible. Humanity had not vanished. They had simply stopped helping, and now the Council would have to face the consequences alone. The consequences. The galaxy was changing. Slowly, painfully, without humanity's steady hands. The order they once built began to break apart. Trade agreements collapsed, peace treaties were questioned, and fear spread through the stars like wildfire. Ambassador Zorthal watched the reports flood in across the hollow screens. Pirates in the outer sectors, rebellions on colony worlds, entire fleets disappearing into the void. Every problem that once found a human diplomat or engineer to fix it now grew unchecked. The council met day after day, but every meeting ended the same way, shouting blame and silence. "Humanity left us to die," growled Chancellor Vexari, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. "No," Zorthal replied, his voice heavy. "They left us to learn." But even he didn't believe his own words. The archivist AI tried to hold the systems together. It calculated trade balances, redirected energy grids and monitored star lanes. But there were too many human-made systems it could no longer access. Locked programs, hidden codes, strange patterns that only human minds seemed to understand. Everywhere the council looked, they found traces of human control, and they realized just how dependent they had become, the galaxy's greatest superpower. The Arkan Dominion decided they would no longer wait. They sent fleets toward Sol, declaring they would take human technology by force. They said if humanity had abandoned the galaxy, then their resources now belonged to everyone. But when their ships crossed the border of the Sol system, something happened. Every ship lost contact. Every signal vanished. The fleet never returned. The archivist tried to analyze the data, but all it found was static. And a short message left on the edge of the transmission. Unauthorized entry detected. Observation protocol active. It was signed by something called the Watchers. That name began to spread across the galaxy like a dark whisper. Were the Watchers humans? Were they something else humanity had created before leaving? No one knew. But everyone was afraid to find out. Meanwhile, smaller civilizations began to suffer. Without human medicine, diseases that had been cured for decades started to return. Without their engineers, star drives broke down, stranding ships between systems. And without their peacekeeping fleets, border wars reignited. The galaxy was slowly dying under its own weight. Zorthal couldn't sleep. Every night he replayed the last council meeting before humanity's withdrawal. He remembered the human ambassador, a woman named Dr. Ilara Wynn. Her calm voice had echoed across the chamber. "You think the council holds the galaxy together," she had said. "But it's not the council, it's trust. And you are losing it." At the time, no one had listened. Now, those words haunted him like a prophecy. In secret, Zorthal began searching for answers. He gathered a small team, an engineer from the Vexari, a scientist from the Loran species, and an old smuggler who once traded with humans. Together, they planned to travel to the edge of human space to find out what had really happened. Their ship, the Echo Star, was old and half-broken, but it was one of the few vessels still using pre-human tech. If they were lucky, it wouldn't trigger whatever human defense systems guarded Sul. As they left the council station, the galaxy burned behind them. News came of the Arkan Dominion collapsing, their leadership lost after the failed invasion. Pirate fleets declared independence, and the Great Galactic Council, once proud, once united, now stood on the brink of civil war. Far from the chaos, the Echo Star drifted into silent space. No stars ahead, only darkness. Then, out of nowhere, a faint pulse appeared on their scanners, a steady rhythm, heartbeat-like. Just as before, they followed it closer and closer, until a massive structure appeared before them. It wasn't a station or a ship, it was something else, something alive. Its surface shimmered like metal and mist, and from it came the same repeating signal. Zorthal felt a chill run down his spine. "Is that human?" he whispered. The Vexari engineer nodded slowly. "Human, but evolved before they could send a scan." A voice filled their ship, calm, clear, human. "You were warned," the voice said. "Humanity has withdrawn. Not vanished, you have been observed and judged." The crew froze. Zorthal spoke carefully. "We seek answers, not conflict." For a long moment there was only silence. Then the voice returned, softer this time. "You will have your answers, Zorthal of Threxia. But knowledge has a cost." A beam of light surrounded their ship. The stars stretched and twisted, and the Echo Star was pulled into the structure. Inside was a vast city of light, silent. Beautiful, endless human figures moved in the distance, but their eyes glowed faintly blue. They were no longer flesh and blood, but something beyond, part machine, part spirit. Zorthal realized then what humanity had become. They hadn't disappeared, they had ascended. They were watching, guiding, shaping the galaxy in ways no one could see, and now they were calling the Council to answer for what it had done. The revelation, the moment the Echo Star crossed the threshold of the glowing structure, everything changed. Gravity shifted. Light curved around them, and time itself seemed to slow. Zorthal felt his heartbeat echoing through the hull, matching the same rhythm that had guided them here. Outside the window stretched a city that seemed endless. Towers of silver rose into a sky of swirling light. Streams of energy moved between them like rivers. Everywhere he looked, he saw signs of human design, symbols, writing, familiar patterns, but they glowed with a strange living energy, as if the city itself was breathing. The voice returned, calm and distant. "Welcome to the core of observation," it said. "Here lies what remains of humanity." The crew looked around. Speechless, the Vexari engineer whispered, "It's beautiful." But Zorthal only felt fear. A figure appeared before them. It was human, or at least it looked like one, tall, glowing faintly, eyes like starlight. When it spoke, its voice carried 1,000 echoes. "You seek answers," it said, "but are you ready to hear them?" Zorthal took a step forward. "We came to understand why humanity left, why you abandoned the galaxy." The figure tilted its head slightly. "Abandoned?" It repeated, "No, we withdrew, there is a difference." It raised a hand, and light formed around them. Images appeared, memories, histories, moments from the past. They saw the Council arguing, wars breaking out, alliances failing, and among them always humans, trying to stop the chaos, trying to hold everything together. For centuries, the being said, "We gave technology, medicine, peace, but every gift was used as a weapon. Every truth was twisted for power." The images changed, showing human scientists arguing within their own ranks. Some wanted to keep helping. Others said the galaxy would never change until it was forced to. That was when the humans created the Exodus Protocol, a plan to remove themselves, to stop interfering and to watch from afar. "You left to test us," Zorthal said quietly, "to see what happens when your hand is gone." The being nodded slowly. "Exactly. And what we saw was the truth of your hearts." More images appeared, wars reigniting, species betraying one another, whole worlds falling into ruin. "Without humanity," the being said, "the Council became what it always was, fragile, selfish, afraid." The Loran scientist cried out, "That's not fair, you left us broken." The human being's light dimmed slightly, as if in sadness. "We warned you," Dr. Alara Wynn spoke, "your fate long before she vanished. But you did not listen." The Vexari engineer stepped forward. "What are you now? Machines, spirits?" The being smiled faintly. "We are both and neither. Humanity evolved beyond flesh, beyond the need for worlds. We exist where thought meets creation. We are the Watchers now." Zorthal felt the weight of the truth settle on him. The humans had not died or disappeared. They had simply become something the galaxy could no longer understand. Then the being looked at him directly. "There is still hope," it said softly. "One chance for the galaxy to restore what it lost." Zorthal's voice trembled. "What must we do?" The being raised its hand again, and a star map appeared before them. One system glowed brighter than the rest. A single blue world, hidden deep within uncharted space. "There lies the seed of renewal," the being said. "It is a gift, but also a test. If the Council can unite to protect it, balance will return. If not, the galaxy will fade into silence." The crew stared at the glowing world. "What is it?" asked the smuggler. The being answered, "Life, new life, created by humanity, untouched by corruption. It will grow to replace what was lost." Then slowly the light began to fade. The city around them started to dissolve like mist. "You must hurry," the voice echoed. "Already others seek to claim the seed. If it falls into the wrong hands, everything ends." The Echo Star shuddered as the city vanished. Suddenly they were back in normal space, stars around them bright and cold. But the map still glowed on the console, showing the coordinates of the hidden system. Zorthal turned to his crew. "We have to warn the Council," he said. But before they could move, alarms blared. A fleet had appeared behind them. Arkan ships. Survivors of the Lost Armada, they were armed, ready, and scanning for the same signal. The smuggler cursed. "They're tracking the seed too," Zorthal gritted his teeth. "Then we'll have to reach it first." The engines roared to life. The Echo Star turned toward the hidden coordinates. Behind them, the Arkan fleet gave chase, and somewhere in the void, unseen by all, the Watchers observed in silence. Humanity had set the stage. Now the galaxy's fate would be decided not by war or power, but by what they had learned, or failed to learn, from the humans who had quietly withdrawn. The race for the seed stars streaked past the Echo Star as it sped through hyperspace. Every system warning flashed red, but Zorthal kept his eyes fixed on the glowing coordinates on the screen. Behind them, the Arkan fleet was still in pursuit, engines burning hotter than the suns they crossed. The galaxy's greatest powers were now hunting the same thing, the seed of renewal. Humanity's final creation, the Vexari engineer clung to the console, her tendrils trembling. "If they catch us, they'll take the seed and destroy what's left of the Council," she hissed. "They won't," Zorthal replied, his voice steady. "We've come too far to fail now." The old smuggler grinned from the pilot seat. "Failure's not the problem, Ambassador. Surviving the next few minutes is..." They dropped out of hyperspace near a dying star. Before them stretched a nebula glowing blue and gold, a storm of dust and lightning that hid the hidden world within. "Coordinates match," the Loran scientist said softly. "The seed's world is inside that storm." The nebula pulsed like a heartbeat, as if it were alive. Zorthal stared into it and whispered, "Humanity always loved dramatic entrances." The Echo Star dove into the storm, electric arcs scraped against the hull, shields flaring, lights flickering. Behind them, the Arkan ships followed, firing plasma bursts that vanished into the swirling clouds. "Hold her steady," the smuggler shouted. "One wrong move and we're vapor," the ship groaned. Metal screaming, but they pushed forward. Then suddenly the storm cleared, and before them hung a small blue-green planet, calm and beautiful. It looked young, untouched, pure. "Is that Earth?" whispered the scientist. "No," Zorthal said, his voice filled with awe. "It's something new." As they approached orbit, scanners picked up strange energy readings. Massive structures surrounded the planet like a protective ring. They shimmered with the same living metal they had seen in the human city. "The Watchers built this," said the engineer. "They're guarding it," Zorthal nodded. "Then we must prove we're worthy to enter." Before they could send a signal, the Arkan fleet burst through the storm. Their flagship, Dominion Fury, opened fire immediately. Energy blasts lit the void, shaking the Echo Star violently. "They found us," the smuggler yelled, spinning the ship through the ring's debris. Explosions lit up the sky, fragments of metal raining down. Zorthal grabbed the comms. "Arkans, stop this madness, you'll destroy the seed." But only laughter came back, harsh and cold. "The seed belongs to whoever claims it," their commander sneered. "And the Arkans claim everything." The Echo Star's shields began to fail, sparks flying across the cabin. "We can't fight them," shouted the engineer. "Our weapons are nothing compared to theirs." Zorthal closed his eyes, remembering the human's words. "Trust," he whispered. "That was the lesson." He turned to the scientist. "Send a message to the Council, all species, all systems. Open frequency." The scientist hesitated. "You'll expose us." "Do it," Zorthal ordered. "If we're to earn humanity's gift, we must act together." The transmission went out across the galaxy. "This is Ambassador Zorthal." His voice echoed through every channel. "The seed of renewal has been found. It belongs to no empire. It belongs to all. If you value life, if you value peace, stand with us now." For a long moment there was silence. Then, one by one, signals began to appear, ships from smaller worlds. Old allies, forgotten colonies, all answering the call. "We are coming," they said. Tiny fleets jumped in, forming a fragile line between the Echo Star and the Arkan Armada. The Arkan commander laughed. "You think your pitiful alliance can stop us?" But before he could fire again, the space around them began to shimmer. The protective rings around the planet came alive, glowing brighter and brighter. A voice filled the void, calm, human, timeless. "The galaxy has chosen," it said, "unity or extinction. Make your choice." The Archons hesitated, their scanners going wild. Energy surged from the rings, disabling their weapons and engines. One by one, their ships went dark, drifting powerless. The Echo Star floated unharmed among the light. The voice spoke again. "You have taken your first step, but the path is not over. Prove that your unity is real, not born from fear but from hope." Then the rings opened, revealing a corridor of light leading down to the planet's surface. Zorthal turned to his crew. "It's inviting us," he said. The smuggler grinned. "After all that, how can we refuse?" The Echo Star descended slowly, passing through clouds of golden mist. They landed in a field of soft light, where strange plants shimmered like crystal. At the center of the valley stood a single structure, a sphere pulsing with energy, the seed of renewal, alive and waiting. Zorthal stepped closer, feeling warmth radiate from it. Images flashed in his mind, humans, worlds, memories of unity and conflict, all blending into one vision. He heard the same voice again, softer now. "This is your chance. Protect it, nurture it, or lose everything." He placed his hand on the seed. It pulsed once, twice, then grew brighter. A wave of energy spread across the land, reaching into the stars. Every ship, every being across the galaxy felt it, a reminder of what humanity had left behind, and what still could be saved. Zorthal whispered, "We will not fail you." But deep above the clouds, unseen, a single dark ship watched. Not Archon, not Council, something else entirely. And in its silent core a voice said, "They have touched the seed. Now the next phase begins, the return of the Watchers." The seed of renewal pulsed brighter with each passing second. Its light spread across the horizon, turning the alien sky into rivers of gold. Zorthal and his crew stood in silence, watching the birth of something new. They had found humanity's final gift, and now the galaxy would feel its power. From orbit, ships from every race gathered in awe. The Council fleet's old enemies, smugglers, traders, all united under one sky. For the first time in centuries, they were not fighting, not running, they were waiting. Watching, hoping. Then the light changed. It rose upward like a beam, reaching the stars. Every ship, every mind across the galaxy felt it, a wave of calm, a pulse of connection. And with it came a voice soft and human, echoing through every communicator. "You have done well," it said. "Humanity is proud." Gasps filled the council chambers across dozens of worlds. It was the same voice that had once guided them through peace and war, the same tone that had taught and warned them long ago. But now it carried something more, power and sadness. The voice continued, "The seed is your new beginning, a chance to rise without our hand guiding yours. But understand this, balance must be kept." As the message spread, the skies above the seed's world began to shift. Dozens of shapes emerged from the clouds, glowing faintly, moving in perfect harmony. They looked like ships, yet alive, shimmering with the same blue energy as the human city. "The Watchers," whispered the Vexari engineer, her voice trembling. "They have returned." The figures took form, human in shape but not in body, made of light and energy. They stood in the air above the seed like guardians, silent and unmovable. Then one of them descended toward the Echo Star. Zorthal stepped forward, heart pounding. "Are you the same beings we met before?" he asked. The figure smiled, eyes glowing like twin suns. "We are more," it said. "The Watchers have awakened. Humanity has seen your choice." The crew fell to their knees. Overcome by the presence before them, Zorthal forced himself to speak. "We have united, we stood together. Does that mean the galaxy has passed your test?" The being looked at him for a long moment. "There is no test, Zorthal, only growth. We did not withdraw to punish you. We withdrew so you could find your strength." The being lifted its hand, and the seed responded, glowing brighter. "Now," it said, "it is time for the galaxy to decide what it will become." The light from the seed spread again, reaching out into the stars. Every world connected by the signal began to change. Wounds healed, dying planets grew green again. Oceans returned, skies cleared. But for those who still held hate and greed in their hearts, their machines failed, their empires crumbled. The balance was being restored, not by war, but by the will of life itself. Zorthal felt tears form in his eyes. "This is what you wanted all along," he whispered. "Not control, but harmony." The Watcher nodded slowly. "Humanity learned that peace cannot be given. It must be earned." In that moment, the Archon commander appeared on the comms. His face pale, eyes wide. "What is happening?" he shouted. Zorthal looked at him calmly. "Change," he said. "The kind you can't stop with guns." The Watchers began to rise higher. Merging with the beam of light, their voices echoed one last time across the stars. "Remember this, the galaxy is vast, but life is one, protected, and we will watch from beyond." Then, with a final pulse, they vanished into the heavens, leaving only the soft glow of the seed behind. Silence filled the air. No explosions, no chaos, only peace. The Echo Star's crew stood together, staring at the world below. A new dawn rising. Zorthal felt something deep within, a warmth he hadn't known in years. Hope later the Council would rebuild. Species that once hated each other would work side by side. The seed's energy spread across systems, powering cities, healing worlds, uniting hearts, and at the center of it all, the memory of humanity remained, not as rulers, not as gods, but as teachers who had shown them the path. In time, the galaxy forgot the wars and the pain. But legends remained. Stories of the Watchers, of the humans who vanished into light. Children on distant worlds would look up at the night sky and whisper, "They're still out there, watching us." And sometimes, just sometimes, when the stars flickered in rhythm like a heartbeat, the old ones would smile and say, "Yes, they are." Zorthal lived long enough to see the galaxy united again. He would often stand at the council balcony, staring at the seed's world, remembering the voice that changed everything. "Humanity has withdrawn," it had said. But deep in his heart he knew the truth. They never really left, because even in silence, humanity still guided the stars, quietly, patiently watching forever.